I just want to give a small presentation today
Cool.
about my reminders and learnings from the past couple of weeks, I would say. It's mostly for me, but I hope maybe there are some nuggets in here that can help some of you guys as well. So here we go. My reminders and learnings. So what led to this presentation? I think that's a question we don't really have to go into detail. But Do Kwon, Terra Luna, and of course the unknown attackers, with the result on the left. But the point of this presentation was like, what knowledge do I already have, and should I think about more? And what can I learn from this going forward? But a good first reminder is don't invest your money you can't afford to lose. Like crypto is still on the edge of innovation, and we're trying to get this, especially in case of Terra, this decentralized economy going. But this is venture capital. I don't think there are much other places where you can put your money, where you have the chance of this much rewards, but at the same time this much of risk. The big thing is, well, don't invest more money than you can lose. Take out your initial capital back ASAP. That's a no-brainer, of course. Play with the market's money. Pay yourself for your hard work. This was more than just a simple trade that you took on. Like if I look at the time it took, it was a lot of time. So you have to keep up with the news. You have to manage your liquidity pools. You have to investigate or research new opportunities and new projects within the ecosystem. But that's worth something, your time. So make sure that you pay yourself for that time. Even if it's the market's money, I still feel like that managing that money should be valued. Another more important thing are learnings. Like what did I actually learn from this, and what can we do with this? Eli 5 explained to me like I'm a 5-year-old. We've talked about this in the past on a daily brief as well, but I really find more and more truth in this. If any environment you're investing in, and it can be Terra, it can be stocks, it can be some other market, if you see products surfacing that are harder and harder to explain to a 5-year-old, then it might be a big red warning sign. If I'm in some space with an investment and I see the space developing in such a way that it becomes harder and harder to explain to people what some products do, it might be time to get out of those products. That's also because, like, the more complex the products are, if something goes south, so something goes wrong, it's usually harder to make the right decision on what to do. But if it's a simple product where you just pull out your money with a single click, that's easy. So simple is better. Everything is temporarily and nothing is too big to fail. I really do believe that even Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDT are all temporarily. They can all go down, and I think they will go down in the future someday. We don't know when. But just like, and this is my personal opinion, right? But every monetary system we had has eventually fallen, and every technology has eventually been replaced. So it's important that we don't rely on things staying the same, and that we should also be able to adapt and quick. Learning 3, take profits off chain. This is something that I see happening a lot. I feel like I was already doing this personally, but maybe not enough, and that's diversifying. So what I've seen a lot is that people who have a big Luna position, they took profits and put it in Anchor, but it's still the Terra ecosystem. So if you really want to lock in those profits, or at least have a high chance of locking in those profits, moving them to a different chain is the right thing to do. And it can be Bitcoin, that can be so Ethereum, it can be any other coin or a stable coin or just fiat money. What is important to spread that jelly and not keep staking your profits and building upon your profits in the same ecosystem. Because if it fails, you don't really have profits. It was all just paper profits on the same chain. So you're taking profits, which is good, but the risk is not getting less because you're still in the same ecosystem. And I think that's one to be really careful for. Yeah. Learning 4, ego kills. Though Kwon was getting a little bit cocky, of course, and a little bit overconfident. And by being and attracting these um, bigger guys, and maybe that had some um, hurt feelings and revenge feelings against Doe, he didn't only paint a big target on his own person as his own head, but also on the entire ecosystem, which eventually is the same as painting a big target on my investment. So this is also where spread the jelly is important. Rule 48 of Linda Bradford. I just love her trading rules. And this one is one I'm going to print out and hang above my bed. When the ship starts to sink, don't pray, jump. Write an exit plan. Plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and even a plan E. Detach from your mental peak net worth. This is maybe less of a learning, but I've talked with a lot of people and friends nearby and close to me that are now very, very depressed because they're holding on to their mental peak net worth. So they had a certain amount of money in the ecosystem and they just can't let it go. That's the only thing they still think about, how much money they had. Um, but it was all in the ecosystem, so it was not really profits, but it's really tearing them down. So yeah, and some final thoughts. Looking back, I could have bought my dream car, the Porsche Taycan, and it would have been a way better investment than keeping it in anchor at this point, because then you could still use it as your home battery pack for your solar panels and stuff. And it was a nice car, but that's something for the next one that to lock in.